Hello, 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 and welcome to I Don't Want to Be a Piece of Shit. I'm your host, Carter Doherty. Thanks for checking out the podcast. It's another day. I'm in another damn park. I'm trying to talk to you guys. And you know what? In the last episode, the last two, honestly, I was pretty rushed. I wasn't really saying much, and it's because I didn't really know where I was at. I didn't, and I also didn't want to talk really too in depth about my private life. When that's the whole point of the podcast, so it kind of didn't. The last two didn't make sense to me. So this episode, I'm getting to the bottom of it. I'm getting to the bottom of it by myself. I'm gonna talk about the past 2 weeks. The biggest struggle I've had. I mean, I keep talking about it. Is the external validation thing. And I guess I'll give you the lowdown of how it's been since the single life has kicked off. I was worried about being single again because I know how I get with external validation and just being a bisexual man. By the way, this episode, as with any episode, if you know me personally or if you're a loved one, this isn't for you. This isn't going to be the content you want to listen to. I'm about to get into the nitty-gritty of what's been going on these past 2 weeks. And if you see me in a light that you love me and you just want to see me as your nice nephew, please stop listening to the podcast. Please. God, I've had multiple family members tell me they've tuned in, and I'm like, this is I got to give so many freaking things at the beginning. Don't listen. I'm going to talk about sex. I'm talking about sex with men and women, and you don't want to hear that. So stop listening. Thank you. Okay, back to the single life. I'm in another park. God, I'm all over the place. I even organized this episode. I even said what I wanted to get to, but I feel as if I'm still all over the place. It's because I haven't been podcasting as much. I need to get back to podcasting all the time so I can get to talking what I want to talk about. God, I tried to go for a hike like an idiot without sleeves on a second ago, and I got eaten alive by bugs. And so I'm gonna be freaking sitting here tweaking, staring at the camera, just itching myself this whole goddamn podcast. Okay, so the boy's single again. The boy's been single for a couple of weeks now, and trying to rely on no external validation to feel good about myself. Been going bad. I thought it was gonna go good. I thought it was gonna go great. I had such high hopes. Let's rewind. Breakup happened. I go to Chicago. Then first time there, first night there, I record my OnlyFans little special. Didn't go how I wanted it to go at all. I felt like I kind of bombed, but whatever. That's fine. It'll come out. That was first of all a little hint to it. Smoked a little weed before. And that's a thing I just want to note. I smoked a little weed and had a bad OnlyFans recording. Then all that week I did spots. I hung out with friends. I had such a good time. And then I had my shows with the lovely Jordan Jensen at the Den, and those were very cool. I had such a good time. But the thing with the external validation that comes into play is multiple fans of Jordan that have seen me open for before had hit me up, and obviously I go out to talk to them. I just feel like I'm letting chicks flood about like too much of what I'm thinking about, I think. So I got pretty excited about that. Talk to them, and then lo and behold, I get a text from a comic. We hang out, and I did good about like just like saying hi, not being like, not thinking about, they probably want to hang out after this, not thinking about that kind of stuff. And then, and I was so good about it. I was like, and then I hung out with an old time friend, and now the newly single Carter, old time friend, and I, we hooked up a couple of times that weekend, and that was like my first time since the relationship hooking up with somebody, and it made me like, honestly, I did feel so good. I felt really good because it was a person I was attracted to. The person was attracted to me. It was like neither of us had drank anything, so it was so nice to like have that kind of, and that's the kind of if I'm gonna hook up with somebody, that exact situation in which that all happened, That's how I want it to go. Somebody that I like, care for, and respect, and I think is very attractive, and we hooked up, and that's how it's supposed to go. I like that. And I was like, okay, this is a good omen for what's about to come. I leave Chicago. I head back to Akron, and then I do some shows in my hometown. And there was a lady who came out to two of the shows, and she was attractive. And after the shows, we go to a bar, and I'm not drinking, but I'm hanging out with all the comics and the people that are hanging out drinking, and we hit it off. I mean, more not really hit it. I could tell she was like she's like a 30-year-old lady that's tipsy, could like not like drunk, but like you could just tell that she wanted to just have sex, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just ride this wave. Did that. We had sex. Fucking. And this one didn't make me feel as good. We didn't really connect as people like that. She was nice. She like is very pretty. But I just realized I just did it because I was like, oh, you have the chance to have sex right now. Have it. I don't think I wanted to do that necessarily. And then, like, the problem is like, I would look at a picture of her and I would, like, I could see her naked and just be like, that's a very attractive woman. But I don't think I actually wanted to have sex there. I think I just did it because I had the opportunity and I thought that that's what I should do. And it kind of bummed me out. She was, like, drinking and vaping during sex, which, like, I don't know, just took me out of it and made me not feel so good. So I didn't feel great about that, and I was pretty anxious about things in general. Okay, yeah. So I headed home back to Akron, and the reason I did that was I moved all my shit from. I had half of it in a storage unit in Chicago. I moved half of it into my basement in Akron, into my mom's basement, and that led into a kerfuffle. I guess I should have a big. This is TMI for a podcast, but this is what I'm talking about. This is like the anxiety, the stress of how it's all going down. Is I brought more stuff than probably I should have to my mom's, and I moved it all into the basement, and got into a little tiff with the stepdad about all of it. He was like, "You can't move all this shit down here. Where's our stuff gonna go?" And then guess what? The boy condensed it. He got rid of shit, and I made it all fit in this tiny little area under the steps. But it was a big argument between my stepdad and I, and it really bummed me out because normally we're very, very close. And I just know that he's going through a hard time, and it's tough when you get into an argument with people that are going through a hard time because you know that they're wrong, but you can understand where their stress is coming from. It's just a hard thing to navigate, especially being younger, and like when it comes from your stepdad, where like. You realize he's human. He's somebody, but and you respect him. You look up to him. But when you do something that you know that they're in the wrong, it's hard to speak up for yourself and figure out how to get to the bottom of it properly. But regardless, he's my stepdad, and I got to just go. Doesn't matter what you say, which kind of sucks because him and I are very close. And then we got into that. It was kind of a bigger argument than I'm making it seem just by saying a little tiff. I guess it was a little argument. We didn't yell too much, but it was bad enough to the point on my birthday was 3 days later, and I didn't get a happy birthday from my stepdad, which that kind of pissed me off because I think about if it was the other way around, and if his birthday was 2 days later, I would have wished him happy birthday. I don't know. Wishing happy birthday is kind of important. Made me feel really good. By the way, my birthday was on Friday, and I got a lot of wishes. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Makes me feel. That's like whenever I see it's somebody's birthday on social media, I always wish them happy birthday because I'm like, it makes me feel so good when people wish me happy birthday. I feel like we should maximize this birthday celebration and have it all go around. Everybody should feel good on their birthday. whatever. My stepdad didn't make me feel good on my birthday, so that was a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. Honestly, going back home, and this is TMI, but you know what? Who cares? I just watched my stepdad and my mom argue the whole time. It's just not a good household to be at currently. Even though I love all those people so very much, they're very very close to me, and I really, it's just in this period of time, in this history, in this timeline right now, we're at a dip. We're at a bad point, and I didn't like to be around it. But I was there, and I had that energy absorbed into me. I was kind of I don't know. And then on top of hanging out with that lady that I didn't think I really wanted to care to, I left for Nashville with a little bit of stress, anxiety. I wasn't getting good sleep. Um, I had so much shit happen with my car. Like so I took the back seats out of my car in Akron, and like got my brakes done. All this stuff happened. But like when I tried to take the seat out, it took forever. It took like 6 hours to take the back seat out of my car. So I was just like, it just was one thing after the next of like working till exhaustion. My hands are so fucked up because my headlights went out like in the middle of the night. I had to change my headlights at a AutoZone at like 1 a.m. And just smashed my hands, was bleeding. Just a bunch of shit like that over and over again. Little tiny things. Getting into the tiff, hooking up with a lady I didn't want to hook up with. My sets were fine. But I just was stressed going into Nashville. So let's see where I'm at. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any of these. Oh yeah, okay. I did miss something. I before I headed to Nashville, I headed down to Dayton where my cousin lives. It's actually my mom's cousin, but you know that it's same diff. And I stay there for the night. And he's got a sick place. He's my cousin. He's like the wild man cousin. He was a forest firefighter for a long time. He's a true alcoholic. Loves weed to the max. Does mushrooms all the time. Just goes on hikes. Just seems like he takes life to the extreme. That's the kind of personality he has, and he's a fun guy to hang out with. But, he's got this wife that he's been with for 20 years, and just whenever I talk to him about his relationship, it always seems bad. It just sucks because I don't know, when we hang out and when he gets, like, a little wasted, that's what he really gets talking about. And I get it. That's what's stressing you out, but it's such a bummer to hear about. And then, because we hang out all night, and he's calling his wife pretty mean things, and I just think about how my stepdad, I used to be really close with him. I thought he was the one for my mom. I think he still is. I hope he still is. But I guess like I just see all these relationships. I can't think of one. I don't think I've ever seen one marriage where I've gone, that's one that I want to be in. And I don't know if that's me or if it's like, because I've like even the marriages that don't end in divorce don't seem fun. It seems like you falling in love rules. It seems so nice to just fall in love and make a person in your eyes like this god. But then every relationship, it seems like you learn that they're a person, all their faults, and then you learn more. Because really what it is you just put on the best front you can, and then you slowly reveal all your faults until all you are is faults. And it just... Is that what just life is? Is you appreciate the good time, and then as soon as it gets bad, you get out and then find something else good again? Because that's what relationships seem to. I don't know. From my perspective on the world, I'm just like, why? Maybe it's the fear of dying alone, but I'm just like, why do you get into a relationship with a person? And I guess family, that's a big one, is you create a family. It just seems like a sham. It seems like a hoax. I don't think that this, maybe I'm 24. Maybe I don't know shit. But I'm just like, relationships. I think it's just this bullshit. Like, ideally, now this is just what I'm saying right now, is I just kind of want to like keep falling in love over and over again. I like that so far. It's just, I don't know. I I don't think, I think it takes like a really strong, stern person that never wavers from their values to be in a relationship, and I've yet to meet a single person that I think lives up to the expectations that I'm setting in my head. You got to be like, you can't mess up as a partner, I feel. I don't know. Maybe that's all bogus. Maybe I'm the dumbass. If you're in a happy relationship and you know that the secret is, let me know. Cuz it just seems and then when I like meet couples, it's just like they're not even attracted to each other at a certain point. They're just doing it because this is what they decided that they're going to do. I don't know. Like, I think that I want a family. I think that I want all these things. Who cares right now? I'm 24. Granted, 24, every age that I say, it sounds a little bit more like, okay, you can't be talking like that anymore. Because I used to go, oh, what the hell, I'm only 22. Oh, what the hell, I'm only 23. Oh, what the hell, I'm only 24. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where it's like, oh, what the hell, I'm 30. That's, no, there is hell there, brother. But yeah, I don't know. Low, not very enamored with the idea of falling in love and starting a life with somebody currently, but that's also somebody getting out of a 4-year relationship. But yeah, I stayed with my cousin down in Dayton, and that was nice. I woke up on my birthday morning, and he's installing a roof rack on my car so I can store more shit up there. I put a bed in my back seat. I'm fully living out of my car right now, and it's not a bad living, honestly. I have not minded it. And I drive to Nashville that night. Pull up to the club. I had great sets all weekend. I was really pumped on it. Except like one of the Saturday shows, I smoked weed between, and then another thing of where I'm like, had a bad set, and I need to quit smoking so much goddamn weed. That's a goal. That's a true goal. That's an actual goal. I'm not just setting goals no more and just putting them out there into the ether and never hitting them up again. This time the goals are being latched onto. They're being met. So no more. I honestly, today, I woke up today and was like, I'm gonna smoke a joint this morning, and I was like, no. You gotta do the pod that you said you were gonna record. You gotta do it. You were going to do it, and guess what? The kid did it. I didn't live up to the other half of the stuff that I said on my to-do list, mostly because I would try to go for a hike without sleeves on and got eaten up by bugs, and halfway through I wanted to meditate on the hike. And I was like, fuck it. Let's just go record this podcast because I can't get eaten alive by bugs on that trail. So no weed today. But yeah, weed was messing me up a little bit in Nashville. I think also just like it's really random. Sometimes I'll have weed that I just can smoke all day, and sometimes I'll get weed that just puts me on my ass, and I think the weed that I have right now is just putting me on my ass. And so I really just want to make sure that I want to do my job the best I can. I want to be making sure that I want to be a really good comedian. I don't think I can do that high all the time. So, making a conscious decision to cut back right now. Honestly, Texas is probably a good place. I would probably get arrested pretty quickly if I got pulled over and my car smelled like weed. Been thinking about that a lot during the road trip. I like to smoke weed while driving, so probably should cut that out. At least vape. So then in Nashville, I was pretty stoked on the sets, having a good time. I love Zany's Nashville. If you live there, go to that club. It's so fun, so great. And then Sunday, I didn't have any shows. I saw 2 bands that I really, really enjoy are playing the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. I decided to purchase tickets and go to a concert alone. Hadn't really done that before. And you know what? I enjoyed it. not like the thing is you try to make these experiences in your head to be these magical things that are gonna like blow you away. First of all, nothing's gonna make my brain shoot as much dopamine as when I did Molly. Okay, so I need to stop expecting that every experience is gonna be revolutionary, gonna be life changing. Sometimes it's just a nice thing. So I go into this concert going like, this is one of my favorite bands of all time. This is gonna blow me away. I need to just go in with no expectations. Just be like, this is the thing that I'm going to enjoy and enjoy it, rather than going, oh my god, Breaking Benjamin, I've since 8th grade, and then because it's shitty, but I was a little bit let down with the performance. But as I have been with any live performance of any comedian or musician, because it's just so hard to live up to the perfect expectations that you set up in your head. Same thing with the friggin' relationship. I think that's why I've been disappointed in every relationship, because I expect them to be this perfect person, and then I'm supposed to be the fuck up that they have to take care of, and that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a little bit of a symbiotic, mutual thing. Maybe that's what marriage is. Maybe it's just two people struggling, but it's easier to struggle with another person. But yeah, I did enjoy the concert. I liked it. I had a good time. And I got good seats. I paid $45, and then afterwards I met up with my good friend who I said on the last episode I was going to make it a goal for myself that I wasn't going to let it through. My good friend Lee Kimbrell. I was going to ask him to do the pod, and he said yes, but he's got life stuff to deal with. This is the first time where somebody's like canceled, and I'm like, yeah, of course. So I'm not mad at myself or Lee. But I did meet up with my good friend Lee Kimbrell after the concert. We had a good hang sesh, and then and then I leave and go back to where I was staying. And this is where Carter goes back to his old ways. I mean, I started this podcast as one man, and I think I changed, and I think I'm regressing, and I've fallen back to almost where I was. So I'd been, been having sex, as I've said on the pod, and I actually got hit up, a few weeks prior by this, lady who came to a show over Instagram DMs, essentially just asking if I could have sex with her husband, and I was like, no, but honestly, like in the back of my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do that. That is what I want to do. And was toying with the idea. I mean, got to the point of jacking off the porn of it. I mean, it was weeks of like thinking about this fantasy. And then after I leave my friends, after we hang, it's like 2 a.m. Sober man, 2 a.m. on a Sunday. I download Grindr. I download the app that I said I wasn't going to do again. And I go on there and immediately find a man and woman couple. Like I said, don't listen to this podcast if you know me. But I think this is a good, I don't know. This is just what I'm actually dealing with. This is actually the stress I go through in my head of like, I'm perusing the app on Grindr. I'm like, in my head just going, what are you doing? Come on, just like go to bed right now. I'm like, but you could get a fun nut in. and then I see the exact thing that I had been fantasizing about. And I went, oh, send them a pic of me. Let's see what they look like. They send a pic back. The lady's like in her 30s and actually attractive. And then the dude's butt ugly. And I end up going and doing it. Really didn't like it. And then they were drunk and on coke. And this is a wild situation for a sober man to have put himself in. But I think I don't know what it is. And then somehow I have the confidence to like go through with it when I'm there and perform fine. Had a good set. It's just, but right before I left their place, I couldn't type the address into my phone because I was shaking so hard from essentially a panic attack. And I don't know why I do those things to myself. Because of the start of being single, I did exactly what I wanted to do. I knew somebody as a person that I really liked, and I found them so attractive, and that was how I want to hook up. Then, and then I slowly, like, stress builds on, life regresses. I'm smoking so much weed, getting anxious, and then I do the exact thing that I wanted to kind of quit doing. I don't want to use just my body like that. I want to have a high level of self-respect. I want to feel confident in myself. I want to feel, I don't know, I just want to feel happy, and I don't think that leads to happiness. But then I don't know. I also think that, like, I struggled really hard with the grinder and with the any gay, like, hookup stuff, because, like, the validation was so easy. But and like I've said it in the last episode, I'm starting to get, like, just a lot of DMs after shows, and, like, people coming up afterwards to me, to where that's kind of fulfilling the validation. And I don't know what it was that spiked me, or I don't know, made me want to do that on Sunday. But then I'm doing that. I'm there till 5 a.m. I go to bed. I get, like, absolutely no sleep. And then the next morning, I have an extended family funeral that I have to go to. So I'm on 3 hours of sleep after all night hanging with doing nefarious shit, having to sit in a church just a few hours later. It's such, like, it's a bit of deja vu. I've definitely been there before, of going to church after being naughty. And then I also have to see my family, who the last time a lot of these people had seen me, I was 12 years old. So different kind of man walking in, I'll tell you that. And then I sit down. And the funeral was fine, but my great aunt is there, who actually was the mother of the cousin that I stayed with, and we sit down and talk for a while, and it is, I get exactly what I wanted to out of that convo. I love connecting with family, or just, like, people that have such an interesting life story. My aunt, she was a true hippie from the '60s. Friggin', she was just telling me so many crazy stories about my great grandparents, and how she got pregnant in high school on purpose to get kicked out of the house, which is, and then had another kid, and then eventually lived in my uncle's college dorm for a few months, saved up money, and then my great uncle drove her all the way out to Arizona, and then my great uncle hitchhiked back. She's just telling me, like, it's obviously a lot longer story, in depth, with a lot of turns and twists, and it was so cool to get to hear somebody's life story that's actually lived a cool life. And she's been a free loving hippie ever since. She's lived in Arizona my whole life. Still wears, like, a lot of denim skirts and stuff like that. Pink colored glasses, hippie hair, and she I don't know, very envious of people who are able to kind of live their lives the way they wanted. But she was kind of just telling me about the hardships of her life, and told me there's one really sad thing that I can't really talk about on the pod, because it's an ongoing sad family thing, and that just really, I don't know, that was a fulfilling conversation, but it did add to my stress and anxiety that I had been packing in. And so then I go from the funeral and family, like, reception thing straight to the comedy club that Monday night. I smoke a joint as soon as I get there. So I'm on no sleep, had been doing things that are just so bad for my mental well-being. That set, and I had some of the family from the funeral come out to that show, and that set was probably one of the worst sets I've ever had in the past 3 years. God, I can't remember the last time I did a set that bad. And I think it was just a accumulation of all the bad things, but especially the smoking weed on no sleep just made me so odd, weird. I couldn't think on how do I talk to people? What funny things do I do? I couldn't think of anything. And then and I was just really embarrassed. But that was I think my true wake up call for weed. That set right there. Because, my family all told me that they loved it and they had a great time. But then the next day, I really buckled down. I thought about my set during the day. I did the things that I needed to do. I didn't smoke weed. And then I had a great set. On a very similar audience type. The crowd was just as tight, and I had a good set. So it's just I need to do the things that are right for me. The comedy goes better when I'm living healthy, respecting myself, being mindful. Comedy goes bad when I'm just living to fulfill, just to get the next dopamine hit, because I can't be present. I can't think about the things that I actually want to do. So it was just clear as day of like one lifestyle I'm living versus the next day I try to live a different lifestyle, and the thing that I actually love, comedy, goes well. So I gotta keep doing that. I like feeling good. I like feeling proud of myself way more than just the temporary synapse firing of happy. I want the you had a good day today. I'm proud of you. That feeling is much better than anything else. And I want to keep striving for that. And I say a lot when I pod. I don't know what that habit is. Hopefully I get rid of that soon. But I keep saying as if you do know, and I don't think you know. But I was happy Tuesday night, and then I decided I was going to drive halfway to Texas from Nashville that night. So I pulled up outside of Hot Springs, Arkansas, which this was also shitty. I pulled up to a rest stop and fell asleep. They got a knock on my window after 2 hours saying that it was only 2-hour parking, and I was already. Granted, I'm allowed to smoke weed after shows. I'm allowed to do that. That's my rule. After I've already done everything. And also, I was going to smoke a little bit of weed after I recorded this podcast, but not again until after my show. I'm going to be in Houston tonight. But I was so high that the guy knocked on my window, and he was like, "You got to get out of here." I was like, "Oh, okay," and I just fell back asleep. And then he came back 30 minutes later and knocked again, and and so then I had to drive another hour to a Walmart parking lot. Woke up, bought some food. I got an outdoor stove. I cooked my meals for the day. Pretty happy with the choices I made. There's a family pulling up, so I'm talking quieter. Hopefully that the levels are good. I'll sound fine. Yeah, so I cooked myself some food at a park. I'm really living the travel RV lifestyle currently. I'm in a state park right now, and I ate some breakfast here. But I pulled into Hot Springs, which is a very, very neat little town. They got these natural bathhouses, which are funneled by the hot springs, so they're kept at 104 degrees, and it's perfectly temp just from the ground. They don't do anything to it. It's just, the water goes from the spring into a tub, and you sit in it. And I did that. I went to one of the bathhouses that's still operating, and I'm sitting in there, and literally 10 minutes into sitting down, an older man comes up to me, and he's just asking me general questions. I'm like, all right, this road trip, it's all about finding myself. I want to get good at talking to people. And so we're just talking, and he's telling me about travel, and I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. And then he's like, yeah, tonight I'm actually going to go down to Arkadelphia, and there's a campground there. It's all men. And I went, oh, that's cool. And then he's like looking at me, asking me about my tattoos, and he starts licking his lips while he's talking to me. And then I just realized what he was doing, and I just was like, "Oh, yeah, it's a little early in the day," because he's asking me if he's like, yeah, he's like, "I swing both ways. Do you swing both ways?" And I went, "It's a little early in the day to be talking about this." And then I was like, "The pools are different temps, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I'm gonna go check out the different temps." But it's interesting to me that if I would have been blackout drunk and had my phone and been on Grinder, I would have probably let that guy suck my dick. But sober me realizes that that is gross. That's just an interesting. It's interesting to be faced with it, kind of like realistically that like this is what you could be. Because the guy was creepy as hell. I don't want to become that. I don't want my life to be relying on my next cum. Because that guy, what a bummer to be that old. Maybe it's a blast. Maybe it is a blast and I'm looking at it with a bad outlook, but I just was like, I don't want to be that guy. And I don't think I'm going to be that guy. I jacked off last night. I didn't want to do that. I want to quit doing that. Because I'm jacking off to something. I'm jacking off to an idea. And that's only really going to like lead me to do that idea more. And it's because I've gotten to the bottom of it. I don't really like a lot of it. A lot of the sex stuff that I've done. Because I feel bad after. So, I'm on my way down to Austin, Texas. Actually, I'm in Houston tonight, and then I'll be in Austin for a month. But I think the goal is to just keep loving and respecting myself. And these adventures of being single, hopefully I keep being mindful of myself and I don't let myself do things that I don't want to do just out of habit. But I think this is a good check-in. This is so much better than the last 2 episodes. So if you listen to those, I appreciate it. This is more what I wanted to do, getting honest and open and talking about the things that I wanted to talk about. These are the things that have been kind of stressing me out. So I'm at about 30-something minutes. This is a good episode. Thank you guys so much. I've been getting comments, and I love talking to people when they interact with the pod. I'm gonna keep being consistent. I'm gonna have guests on. I don't know if you guys like guests, but I appreciate everybody that's listening to the pod and giving some feedback. It really actually does help motivate me as a person to keep being better. So thank you guys. I've been Carter Doherty. This has been I Don't Want to Be a Piece of Shit. Peace.